Alongside me today, Dave O'Brien from Squawker. Dave, welcome.
Thanks, mate. How are you, Lawrence?
Pretty good. I'm feeling good about the weekend because so much stuff happened.
Lots of movement. Managers in, managers out. Games won, games lost.
Top men in, or no top men in, everyone out really.
Yeah.
8 years out, to be more precise, because Blatter and Platini both got 8 years out of the game, which essentially leaves them with a lifetime ban because they're both aging at a rapid pace. Of course, Dave, there were some big results over the weekend as well, not least Manchester United losing.
Well, big result for Norwich. I thought they played very well. Good performance on the counter-attack. Loved Ali switch to 5 at the back at the end of the game to see it out. It was just a brilliant performance on the break. Attacking Man United where they're weak, through the centre, spreading out wide and then scoring goals. So no questions there. They deserve the win.
Finally, Chelsea got a win, 3-1 against Sunderland. Some people would have said at the beginning of the season this was a foregone conclusion, but at the start of the match, with all the rats in that team, that was far from it.
Well, yeah, the rats performed in a way. Let's say it's
performing fancy rats.
Yeah. Doing backflips and all sorts of things, scoring goals.
Yeah, essentially. And that's what we want to hear from you guys about this weekend, the performing fancy rats. Are you a happy Chelsea fan today or a sad Chelsea fan?
I'm still pretty sad, mate. Last week's news hit me like a train. And I've spent most of the weekend, crying my eyes out, really.
Really? I don't understand why everyone's so upset at Chelsea. Why is everyone so upset at losing Mourinho, the man who's led you to this point right now?
Because he's also the man that's been, our most successful manager of all time. In most Chelsea fans' eyes, the man is a legend, he's a hero. He brought us success when, he brought us the type of success that we'd craved for forever. And, he's such a charismatic person, and to lose him was devastating, really. We've got Hiddenkin. He did a really good job when he came in as interim manager last time. So I think we can only take that as a positive now. We're sad that Jose's not here. We hope he doesn't go to United. But we've got to look onwards and upwards now, Lawrence.
One name to finish. Who do you want as permanent manager next?
I'm gonna go Diego Simeone.
Jack there from Chelsea Fans Channel. Go find them on YouTube, hit subscribe, and you'll see lots more scarves like that.
Thank you.
Now we've got some questions. I love the questions bit. Emil Person. I want to say that's a made-up name. I don't think it is. Thoughts on Jose Mourinho to Manchester United? We kind of expressed them, but Dave, would you be happy with that?
Yeah, obviously he's a brilliant manager. He's one of the best managers around. Only Ferguson has won more trophies in the game in Europe. It's absolutely fantastic. 2 European Cups, X amount of league titles across the world. There's no question on his calibre. The question for me is where are Manchester United going as an institution, as a football club? Is Mourinho the right option for the long-term gains of the club? Maybe, maybe not.
Let's go straight to solutions because everyone seems to be pointing out the problems. What would you do at United right now?
I'd see January out with Louis Van Gaal, and I'd allow him to address what I think was his major mistake, which was the summer transfer window. Whether it was him, whether it was the board clearing the decks, the massive mistake for me was the summer transfer window, mismanagement of the squad resources. I think if he's allowed to address that in January, then we might have a different Man United on the back end of it. If nothing changes, then nothing will change, and we will continue the decline.
Interesting.
My big question sort of to Houseman is, do you feel that they've over the last 2 windows they've struggled? It's not just the last window where they performed pretty poorly, in my opinion. I feel that they've consistently had this poor transfer policy. Whoever's running it, whether it's Ed Woodward or whether the manager's having say, but it just seems so broken. Signing someone like Marouane Fellaini and then signing Juan Mata in 2 consecutive windows, that's like going 2 different ways, right?
I agree. And what we've got to remember is that while we lost Sir Alex Ferguson, we also lost David Gill, who was a smooth operator. We give him a little bit of stick because we think that he was a bit mean with the checkbook, whereas Ed Woodward's come around and he's like throwing money around, everyone gets a piece, but he's not an experienced negotiator, and I think that's why he's befriended Jorge Mendes, George Mendes, whatever you want to call him, to try and get some of these big signings on board because he has no experience and no contacts in that arena. And I think that we might be seeing the problem that we've gone for megastars. I've said it a couple of times, I think we really went in hard for Muller and Bale, and then when we come to the end of the window and we've not got them, we've gone, now what? And we've ended up going for Martial, who would have been several names down that list. He wouldn't have been anywhere near the top of it. Great player, one for the future, but not what we needed at the end of the window.
Zidane, next Real Madrid manager.
They're running out of options, right? If they lose Rafa, you've probably got.
Why would they? But it's their choice where they lose Rafa. Why lose Rafa? We've been told he's on his last opportunity, and now he's on his last opportunity. They went 10-2, Dave.
Yeah, but that's a game that, in a way, Rayo Vallecano threw that away. They were leading 2-1, One of their right back got sent off for a horrendous tackle on Tony Cruz. Then Real equalised. Then they got another player sent off from for a second bookable offence, cleaning out Ramos from a set piece. And then it was 3-2 against 9 men. That's game over.
Their manager said, Paco, I think it's Jimenez, but I don't think it's pronounced like that. We feel humiliated and abused. This doesn't benefit Madrid or us or Spain or Spanish football. We've lost a lot of credibility. Today, nobody won. We all lost. Rafa Benitez laughed in the background, saying, "No, it was 10-2, mate." Would you? I'd stick.
I would stick.
Would you stick or twist?
Right now I'd just stick with Van Gaal and hope Brian Giggs moves into the position.
Interesting. Why Giggs?
To be perfectly honest, that would be my position on that. Really, I mean, he's more of an offensive-minded guy, but now he's been under Van Gaal for this amount of time and has learned some defensive strategies.
We've definitely learned that. Yeah. Can we do attacking one week, Louis?
Nope. Score, but.
Who should Chelsea get as their long-term manager?
I think Pep would be the best, to be honest. But then again,
Pep's viable. Do you think Pep's possible?
That's how the youth teams at Chelsea play the possession-based football. They've been playing it for a while now. They're playing like a 3-4-2-1 at the 19
Abramovich is
level.
courting him, isn't it?
It's been the long-term plan, I think, for Chelsea. And they've been trying to get him for so long that it would fit. Diego Simeone, I don't think he'd quite fit at Chelsea at the moment.
Okay.
Simeone's just got too much of a project at Atletico Madrid, and I think
too much of a good project. Why would you leave that?
Again, and I think that he seems like a guy that loves clubs, and I feel like Lazio might be an option in Serie A because he's played there and so forth. I feel that he's got to have that connection with the club. He's got to feel sort of something special, passion, aggression.
That's why Klopp went to Liverpool. Do you always have the Chelsea flag up?
Always.
And you always have the drawers open?
My ticket to my first game.
Really? What was your first game?
Stoke versus Chelsea last season. The goal of this season, scored by Charlie Adams, 70-yarder.
I love how he's not one of those crazy blinded fans. He'll still say if the other team scored a really good goal. But Charlie, you must be so happy right now. I tend to think of Real Madrid as a pretty happy club. Do you?
Yeah, we do. Especially after what happened last night.
Yeah. What did happen last night? Because the first 20 minutes, woeful for Real Madrid. They scored a goal, then conceded 2, and it just went bad.
Yeah, it's true. But it was the first 20 minutes. I mean, we've been being pretty hard with the club ourselves, but I mean, games last 90 minutes. Now the thing is, you have Barcelona and Real Madrid are sharing 35% of everything.
Yeah.
And then, the other 18 teams are sharing the left, the 75% left.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that's fair, but again, I mean, it's also because these two teams generate that. If we didn't have these two teams in the league, the amount of money we're splitting would be nothing.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? We don't know. That's a little bit unfair, isn't it?
But let me ask you a question, Jay. Why is it unfair? Like, why is it always pointed to be unfair when we're talking about Real Madrid? But nobody's saying that. Oh, it's unfair that Barcelona.
I say about Barcelona, but they get shouted down all the time, and that's the problem.
Because they're the good guys, right?
Exactly, they're the good guys.
Yeah, no, that's the problem. They're not.
Yeah.
They're just the same as us. They're playing better now and winning. But
you forget history when teams do well. Then you sort of go, "Oh, it's all fine. Don't worry. What's your problem?" Do you think it's a good thing? The problem would be that we've seen other smaller clubs get Europe, and then they've struggled to manage the amount of fixtures, all those kind of things, because it's been so new. I know it's a great adventure, but would you rather see long-term stability over a short-term? We'll get in Europe for one season and then sort of go to mid-table mediocrity.
I think I'd rather see them finish about a 7th or an 8th.
Okay. Just this season.
Yeah, and keep that going, and then probably build on. Get some bigger players in, so we can really push for, challenging for the Premier League.
In January, would you like to see them sell someone like a club legend? Well, a potential club legend, Gabriel Bonloho.
Yeah, it's for 3 million, I think, is his price.
Yeah.
Which, he's not really doing much. He's just there because of his history. And I think if we bring in a more creative player, get rid of. Yeah, I could see him go.
Yeah.
Because he's not really doing much. If you look at Darren Benn, he was there. He didn't really like the club, so he left. Like at Bonghood, he started a couple of the games, but not really carried much on. Like when you see him, he can run past defenders, but he just doesn't seem to be his head in the game, to be honest.
Yeah, and so what do you think Remy Gard has got to do to keep you guys up till the end of the season?
Oh, strengthen our defence. If you look, that's the thing. We've edited our defence. We've brought in Amavi, who's been good. Michael Richards, his header the other week,
yeah,
quality. But it's just a Hutton. I think Hutton is one of the most underrated right backs. If you look at him, he played quite bad against Newcastle, to be honest. But he's quite a crucial player getting forward and defending.
We're going to be back on the 4th of January. That's Monday, the 4th of January. So that's not that far away. We're taking a tiny little Christmas break. Monday, the 4th of January at 7 p.m. UK time. If you're calling in from around the world, that's GMT. We want to hear your calls. There's going to be a lot going on over Christmas, so take your notes about your teams. Bring them to our producers at the Football Republic on Skype, and you guys could be on this screen very soon. I'm going to stop hitting it because I feel like I'm going to break it. Joe, Dave, it's been great to have you on the show. Cheers, mate. Yeah. Now, I've already lifted this once this season. If you guys want to call in and talk to us in January about the Champions League, when it'll be a bit more relevant, then do that. Who's going to be winning this come the end of the season? Let us know. And we'll see you again real soon on the Football Republic.